that those processes don't matter. It is what your whims are when you want to attend to your relatives that matters. Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Speaker, that was unnecessary interjection that I have no time for. Because we all know, and we live in this country, we know how we do the budgets. You know, nothing will land on your table, nothing will land on the table if you are not a diligent member of parliament to be able to follow it up. You must make sure that you interact with the budget committee. You must make sure you interact with the state departments. That is why I am saying, Honorable Speaker, for us to be debating development expenditure 2 weeks to the end of the financial year, we only want to throw points at the member for Nandi Hills, who is a very, I must repeat, is a very diligent member. Very diligent. More diligent by another one who is very fond of pointing fingers at him. Whereas I am very busy working for the people of Kenya. And I will continue to ensure even the people of Suba South get roads, they get access to electricity, because they are Kenyans and they deserve. And the Cabinet Secretary for the National Treasury, as much as it hurts one of us, he is an expert par excellence, given to us by ODM. And the expert from Suba South, the Honorable John Buddy, as much as it is painful to one of us here, he is doing a great job in ensuring that development is there across the country and there is inclusivity. Finally, Honorable Speaker, on State House budget. On State House budget, because that's the other thing I've had people try to make.
Order. Give him half a minute and conclude.
Half a minute to conclude and say this, Honorable Speaker. State House is not State House Nairobi alone. We are all aware we have done a number of state lodges across the country, including the people for Wajir in the northern Kenya. People who felt excluded from Kenya. That people are saying, even Homa Bay, there is a state lodge. Therefore, recurrent expenditure in State House cannot be what it was last year. We just hosted the Africa France Summit, Honorable Speaker. You know that cost money in recurrent expenditure. The President hosting all those people, and we have to provide for those expenses. The same for the office of the Deputy President. So therefore, even as we seek to follow those who are posting on social media, because I've seen one former member of Parliament from Madeira posting on social media, we must make
you wish to be informed
clear.
By Honorable Kaluma.
Honorable Kaluma is very intelligent to inform me. He should inform me.
The majority leader, that unlike our former presidents, now you go to State House and you don't take Fanta and biscuits. You are welcomed as a Kenyan, and we have a president who has opened State House to everybody. Not just some top people. Anybody can go to State House and sit with their leader. And so we have to budget for it.
Honorable Majority Leader.
Honorable Speaker, I was concluding. Let me thank Honorable Kaluma for that information, and to also tell the House and this country that unlike some of our former presidents who spent a lot of time in State House, our president is very mobile. And therefore that mobility, that making every Kenyan feel part and parcel of our country in creating inclusivity and togetherness and the unity of our nation, building that unity, the president travels across the country. This is a president who this morning left France, Paris, landed in Mombasa. He is now presiding over the Ocean Conference with hundreds of thousands of delegates from around the world to grow our blue economy that is transforming not just the coast region, the Nyanza region, Lake Turkana and other blue economy areas. Therefore, we cannot compare President William Ruto, who is a teetotaler, with, you know, State House has also been used. There used to be a bar there. It has since been closed. This man is not going to bars. Before that, there are very many active bars in State House. They are all closed. They are now building a church in State House. And that church is being built by money from the president himself. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
The Honorable Otende Amolo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to support this supplementary appropriation number 2 bill of 2026. But with a caution, Mr. Speaker, and this is from the perspective of the Public Accounts Committee. I see my colleagues, Honorable Nabi is here, Dr. Undo is here, Honorable Koechi is there, Honorable Namwari is there. Two things, Mr. Speaker. First is the question of actual expenditure. Mr. Speaker, I note that we have 12 days to the end of the financial year. I am hoping that as Honorable Atandi asks us to support this bill, and we do, that the committee will appropriately caution all these agencies that they had better be sure they'll spend this money before the end of the financial year. Because part of what we deal with routinely is coming to the end of the financial year, and you find agencies that have not spent even up to 40% of what they were allocated. And my caution, therefore, Mr. Speaker, is that if any of these agencies should end up with having an audit query for not having spent, then the Budget and Appropriations Committee should appropriately penalize them by reducing their budget in the next cycle. My second caution, Mr. Speaker, is on confidential expenditure. Mr. Speaker, I note that half of this supplementary budget, that's about 6 billion, goes to 3 agencies that usually have confidential expenditure. That is State House, 1 billion, Internal Security, 1.5 billion, and National Intelligence, 3.5 billion, about 50%. Mr. Speaker, part of what we have routinely faced are some of these agencies taking virtually every other expenditure and putting it under confidential expenditure. And the reason is, they say Treasury has not updated or revised the regulations to indicate what is confidential expenditure and what is not confidential expenditure. Mr. Speaker, I want to urge the Finance and National Planning Committee, in conjunction with the Budget Committee.
Order, Honorable Lieutenant. Some Honorable Kaluma is on a point of order.
Honorable Speaker, I never interrupt Honorable Amolo, but there is constant mention of confidential vote through the presentations, and it is a very sensitive issue. If I remember, the idea of confidential votes was abolished last year. Could Honorable Amolo mention to us this confidential vote that is referring to, and which the members are referring to, so that we can make a decision with knowledge around it? Because so far as I'm aware, there is no confidential vote here.
Mr. Speaker, if that was a point of order, then I do not know under which standing order it arises, because that is a contribution. No, Mr. Speaker, I want to tell you. I want to respond, Mr. Speaker.
Order. Honorable Otende Amolo, you are a senior member here. Standing order number 91 says that a member shall be responsible for the accuracy of any facts which the member alleges to be true and may be required to substantiate any such facts instantly. So what you should have asked for is for you to substantiate what are these confidential votes.
Mr. Speaker, this is as a matter of law, not as a matter of fact, and I will explain. I started by mentioning some of my colleagues with whom we serve in the Public Accounts Committee, and they're here. Mr. Speaker, the 3 agencies have indicated, whenever we ask for their audit queries, including yesterday, they indicate that these fall under the confidential vote, which cannot be responded to because Treasury has not developed guidelines. The only point I wanted to make is this, and it's a very simple point. We do not need to disagree on this. That the Finance and Planning Committee, in conjunction with the Budget Committee, should urge Treasury to now develop these guidelines to separate
swore to uphold the Constitution of Kenya. Those of us who sit in Public Accounts Committee, and I have sat there since 2020, Honorable Speaker, every year there are several agencies that have a confidential vote that is never subject to being unpacked. And that's what Honorable Tendamolo is alluding for. I sit in the Public Accounts Committee. I can even bring you the public accounts, the report of the Director General that was even discussed as late as yesterday to this House for purpose of substantiating the issue that there's a confidential vote in our books of accounts. Yeah.
Honorable, let him rise first. Proceed,
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, my point is a very simple one, and I do not know why
Majority Leader, you are
it attracts controversy.
What's your point about our Majority Leader?
Mr. Speaker,
Listening to what Honorable Ondo, I don't know if there is a member of the Public Accounts Committee, but I know the senior counsel is a member or was a member of the Public Accounts Committee,
if not the chair some time back. But Honorable Speaker, I think we need to make it clear what the Honorable Ngogoi said, what the Honorable Kaluma has said. Before 2024,
there used to be a confidential vote. After 2024, that confidential vote was abolished, and we must not confuse what is classified expenditure, like you had rightly guided. There's what is usually classified expenditure, military, NIS, part of what Honorable Ngogoi is speaking about, security operations, which you will not discuss in an open forum. But confidential, Honorable Speaker, I would want the Honorable Ondo, because he alleges that it is something they are discussing in the Public Accounts Committee. You can debate something in a committee, but until and unless it is in a formal report before this House, we cannot be discussing it, Honorable Speaker. And therefore, I would want to advise that if there is anything that they want to address in the Public Accounts Committee, they put it in their report, it comes before the House. If there are issues the Auditor General has raised, and Senior Counsel knows that, they will bring the report here and they will debate it. But let us not use this forum again to send the wrong message out there to people, as I can see attempts to.
Let him rise.
Mr. Speaker, if I may just wind up my contribution. Mr. Speaker, whether you want to call it classified, whether you want to call it confidential, whether you want to call it other vote, my point is a very simple one. That the agencies constantly come and say we cannot respond to this because they still use the word confidential. They may use the word classified. But the point is, Treasury has not distinguished, has not generated the regulations to indicate these ones can be classified or these ones cannot. And therefore, most of these agencies come and say we cannot respond to almost everything because it falls in that category. All I'm saying is that it behoves us as a House to work with Treasury to create that distinction. Lastly, Mr. Speaker.
Order, Honorable Attende Amolo. I will repeat that again. And I've had the opportunity in the 10th Parliament, in the 7th Parliament. You see, there is intelligence gathering, there's counterintelligence, there's terrorism, there's counterterrorism. You expect those institutions are going to tell you we use these things to go and get espionage, counter-espionage. Those things are not for public, There is the military order, military hardware and ordinances. There is the officers who are there. Nobody knows the number of our officers in the armed forces. It's supposed to be a classified information order. Classified information. Honorable members, let us not confuse statecraft. Order. Order. Mbui. I think without proper arrangements being done by security cleared committee, this parliament, open parliament, cannot discuss our security institutions in any way. Not the military. Nobody is supposed to know how many helicopters we have, how many planes we have, how many of these things. And these are information, the expenditure is for ordinances. So I want you to know that when you get to that, please, it's a no-go area. But anybody else, order, any other area, yes, but not the security machinery, not the intelligence, not the armed forces of this country. On who? On me. You see, that's why I tell you you're a first timer. You rise on a point of order when a member is contributing and is not. Order. I am not debating. I am guiding the House. No, I'm guiding the House. Proceed. Proceed, Amolo. We don't want this basic activism to go into national security. National security is not an easy thing to mess around with.